guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. I know that last week's video didn't go up, but this time I actually have a good excuse. On the day that I usually film my videos, my sister had a baby, so I was a little bit distracted and didn't get around to filming last week's video. And I'm actually filming this video really early in the morning just to make sure that I actually do end up getting it up for you guys. But anyways, today's video we are going to be talking about another cryptid, and this one is super interesting and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So with that all being said, let's get right into today's video. The cryptid that we are going to be talking about today is one that I have been requested to cover since the first cryptid that I ever covered on this channel. However, I didn't get around to talking about it until now for whatever reason, but I really think that you guys are going to enjoy this one, and again, I'm super excited to share it with you because today we are going to be talking about black shuck. So black shuck is the most common name given to this creature. However, it has also been referred to as old shuck, old shock, which is not one that I came across too much online, but I did see that some people do call it that, and also just plain and simple shuck. However, the most common name for this creature is black shuck. Now, the description of this creature changes from encounter to encounter, just like with most cryptids, but it does have some of the same similarities and features in every single encounter. Again, the description of black shuck does vary from encounter to encounter, but the creature is usually said to be all black in color. That is one thing that seems to always stay the same. The creature is also said to have glowing eyes that either glow red, green, or yellow, and in some situations the creature is said to only have one eye. The size of this specific creature varies as well from encounter to encounter, going anywhere from a large-sized dog to that of a calf, with some people even explaining that this creature was as large as a horse. The creature looks like a dog or your average dog, but just has a little bit more of some of these creepy features to it that show that this is definitely not your average canine. This creature is said to have howls that are so absolutely horrible and outlandish that they'll turn your blood completely cold. It is also said that black shuck walks completely silently, so you never hear him coming when he is going to attack. And this creature stalks specifically the British Isles. This creature is said to have stalked the East Anglia coastline, and it is usually seen in that general area, usually in dark places such as graveyards, back roads, and it is often seen near large bodies of water. Sightings and encounters with this creature date back hundreds of years, with the very first famous encounter of this creature dating all the way back to August 4th, 1577. At this time, there was a group of people who had been praying in the Holy Trinity Church. As legend goes, there was a huge clap of thunder, and the huge dog-like beast burst through the door, violently attacking and killing a man and a young boy. He also had caused the church steeples to collapse through the roof, and while breaking out of the building, black shuck had left scratch marks on the door of the church, which actually still remain there today as evidence of this violent attack from this horrific creature. And then several hours later on the exact same day, the creature would strike again in the St. Mary's Church in Bungay. In a very similar fashion, the black dog-like creature burst through the church doors, moving swiftly through those who were inside of the church who were frozen in fear. 2 people had knelt down in prayer once spotting the creature. This had resulted in old Chuck getting extremely angry and violently attacking these people who had knelt down to pray. And this attack also resulted in the death of 2 people. That this horrific dog-like creature had killed a total of 4 people in just the span of a few hours. Since this time, it has been speculated that black shuck isn't one single creature, but rather an entire species of these bloodthirsty hellhounds. Another tidbit of information that I thought was pretty interesting and I wanted to mention in here is that the word shuck was derived from an Old English word skuka, which actually means devil, which I think is very fitting for this really creepy demonic dog-like creature. Now we're going to be jumping back even further to 1127, which is when the first known written text about black shuck surfaced. This was said to have been in the town of Peterborough in England immediately after the arrival of Abbot Henry of Poitou to the Abbey of Peterborough. And I may be completely off-centered here, but I have no idea who this person is, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys have no idea who he is either. But when this guy said to have shown up in Peterborough in England, that is when they had first spotted black shuck. Anyways, in this writing it says that about 20 to 30 of these black bloodthirsty beasts stayed in the area from Lent all the way till Easter, which was roughly 50 days, with this event becoming known as the Wild Hunt. In 1905, a man said that he had seen a dog resembling Black Shuck on his property. He had been out doing some farming when all of a sudden he ran into this devil, demon-looking, really creepy dog, and while the dog was standing right in front of him, within seconds of him seeing the dog, it all of a sudden allegedly turned into a donkey, and then within seconds of that happening, the creature just completely vanished right in front of this man's eyes. This man retold his story, and he strongly believes that he had an encounter with Black Shuck. Another famous but short encounter that is said to have been with Black Shuck was during World War II by a 4-year-old girl who said that she was being stalked outside of her window by a large black dog. Every night this dog would come and pace in front of the young girl's window, and the dog had these really, really bright, glowing eyes. Now again, the child was only 4, so when she started to tell people this story, they just dismissed it and thought that she was either having nightmares or making this up. But it turns out that she still believed this story when she got much older, and this is an allegedly true story of the Black Shuck. And then in 1974, a 10-year-old boy came forward with a story about how he was out, he was playing, when all of a sudden he noticed this huge black dog with glowing red eyes running towards him. The young boy was absolutely terrified, and he ran home immediately to tell his mother what he had just seen. But once he got home, his mom quickly dismissed his story, saying that it must have just been a car's headlights or something along those lines. However, several years later, the boy came across stories of the Black Shuck, and at that point he was absolutely certain that that was the creature that he had seen that night. This next story that I'm going to share with you guys, I don't really know the specific details of it. Somebody had just written it up on Reddit. It's not my story. I just thought it was interesting when I saw it online, and I thought that you guys would like to hear it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. However, again, I don't know when it happened or where it happened. However, because it was posted on Reddit, I'm going to just assume that it happened more recently. Our narrator starts off by saying that he was on a walk late one night. He was 25 years old. He was walking to a market near his home. He went in, he purchased whatever he had needed, and then he left the market and was now headed back to his house. It again was nighttime, it was dark, it was summer, and he was walking when all of a sudden he heard what he described as a deathly howl. He turned around, and that is when he noticed this extremely large black dog. He said that immediately he felt kind of freaked out in the pit of his stomach, but he figured that the dog was just a stray and it wasn't going to bother him, so he turned away from the dog and continued his walk home, hoping that the dog would just, stay doing whatever it was doing and leave him alone. He tried to just focus on getting home, but he couldn't shake the feeling as if he was being followed, and he was completely right to feel this way, because when he had turned around and looked over his shoulder again, that is when he noticed that this creature was following him. He said that this time he got a better look at the creature, and that is when he saw that the creature was actually bigger than he initially thought, describing the creature as being the size of a small bear. He said that the creature had these glowing red eyes that appeared as if they looked right into your soul. The man said that him and this creature had this stare off for a couple minutes, and then the dog seemed to just sprint off faster than he had ever seen a natural dog run ever again. He thought that that would be the end of it, and so he turned around and continued on his way home at a quicker pace this time because he was quite shaken up. But that wasn't the last time he would see this creature. The creature then cut him off when he got closer to his home. He was completely shocked this time, and him and the creature just had this weird stare down again, and the man at this time said that he was pretty certain that he was going to be attacked. So he just closed his eyes and started profusely praying. Eventually, when he opened his eyes again, the creature was completely gone. The man then safely made it back into his house, and he never had another encounter with a creature like this ever again. He says that he's not sure why the creature hadn't attacked him that night, and that this is an experience he thinks about quite often, because he is pretty certain that that night he did in fact have an encounter with Black Shuck. Now let's talk a little bit about Black Shuck himself and where people believe that this creature came from and when it shows up. So the most common belief, and really the only belief that I've even found online, is that many people believe that Black Shuck is some kind of demonic devil entity that is attracted to fear. So the reason that this creature is believed to be a demonic presence, and I think that this is pretty obvious, but it is because the dog appears to be some kind of demonic creature, which I think personally just screams some kind of satanic weird thing is going on with this creature. It is also said that when this creature appears, praying can do one of two things. It either angers the creature and makes them violently attack, or it causes the creature to just completely vanish altogether. With that being said, it does appear as if this creature attacks when it is attracted to some kind of fear of either one person or even in some situations a large group of people. For example, when it had attacked the first time in 1577 in those churches, that was when a large group of people got together, and that was when Black Shuck had first shown up, and the people inside of those churches did appear to be quite scared. And I think that in a church would be a more common place for a demonic presence to kind of pop up, just to kind of, I guess, like prove a point, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I do just think that that would make more sense. It was said in 1577, when Black Shuck had shown up to these churches, the reason that all of those people were gathered together inside of the church praying was because there was lots of really bad storms going on all over England at that time, and that is why those people were in the church praying. So they were probably already scared because of the storm, and that could have been what attracted Big Shuck. For myself personally, I do believe that Black Shuck has some kind of satanic, devil, demonic entity feel to it. Usually in these kinds of situations with cryptids, I do believe that they are most of the time undiscovered creatures or species, but in this specific case, I do think that Black Shuck does have some kind of paranormal feel to it. But guys, that is all that I have for you on today's video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below what you'd like to see in my future videos, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!